to Baggins. There's some things you shouldn't do, and doing that is one of them. Hey everybody, it's Chloe Baggins.
And I am Bushido.
Shower shaved and trimmed Bushido.
Smooth looking Bushido. Mr. Smooth looking Bushido. To all of you.
Smooth. Smooth. Your hair does look good though.
Well, it feels much better. It's a good solid 3 pounds of hair off the mushroom cut.
Yes, I cut his hair before we filmed this and it was so much gray.
That's all good.
I think I like you better gray though. What do you guys think? Do you guys like his hair gray or dyed black?
Whichever. I'm just thankful I never lost my hair. I don't complain. I give thanks. Anyway, welcome back. And today, our big review is, of course, the latest episode of WandaVision, episode
6.
And the big focus of this episode was Halloween time at the MAXIMOFFS neighborhood. MAXIMOFFS house? MAXIMOFFS neighborhood?
WESTVIEW.
WESTVIEW. And I think the coolest part of this episode, I think what everyone was just waiting to see what happens is, how does Quicksilver interact with the family, especially with Wanda? It was really cool seeing him interact with the kids. He's literally hamming it up as the cool uncle, you know, that you want to play with, you want to do stuff with.
Sleeps until 4 on the sofa.
Yeah, that's cool, seeing that slice of life for the MAXIMOFFS family. I enjoyed that very much. And that was really
liked
the focus.
The intro, you know, it was very Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh yeah, we're definitely in the 90s now for the
Definitely
sitcom.
in the 90s.
Yep, definitely in the 90s.
So, I was actually very excited to see the Halloween costumes that they chose.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
in the trailer, they talked about, I mean, we clearly know that, you know, this is the Scarlet Witch comic book costume, and Visions is his original, and they even bring in Quicksilver's.
Yeah, but what's funny about about Uncle Pietro's costume is clearly a throwback to his comic book look, but it's like the super on the budget college boy version, because it's like chopped up jean shorts and like duct tape. Oh, it was, and like hairspray. Oh, hilarious.
That's what made the
Good
90s
job.
was like the best. But I do like how Wanda, you know, said that she was a Sokovian.
She's dressed up as a Sokovian
fortune teller.
That was really cool to kind of ground that really different look for her in the reality of the MCU.
And what was Vision?
A luchador. Which is like, oh man. And then you got to give props to Vision's El Romantico Españolo that he whispered to his wife.
Carne asada.
Oh, hilarious. Very cool. And I think that's also testament that you really just can't copy and paste the comic book look into a live action. It looks good on ink and paper, but when you translate it literally into live action, it just does not work. Again, Captain America's Star-Spangled Man uniform from the first Avenger. Yeah, that's his comic book look, but look how ridiculous he looks in it. You know what I mean?
It is cool though that they gave a nod to it.
It's cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Can you imagine all the sideshow 1/6 scale?
Oh man, I can imagine. You know Hot Toys, and I'm gonna pre-order it. You know Hot Toys is gonna have like an edition of like Westfield Halloween costume edition of Vision and Wanda. Oh, it's gonna be hilarious.
Anyway, so it was. What'd you think of Quicksilver doing his Quicksilver thing?
I liked it. I mean, it's cool that he showed him with his powers, and it's a different depiction from the powers he had in X-Men. Of course, in X-Men, it's life and death situations, and he's really kicking into overdrive super fast if everything around him just slows down to a standstill. Mm-hmm. But this is more like happy-go-lucky, playing with my nephew's Quicksilver, so let's use it to smash pumpkins, or put silly string on people. That was really cool. It's cool to see some levity in this very, very quickly getting serious show.
And one of his nephews.
Yeah, one of the nephews inherited the super speed.
Yeah, which was really kind of cute.
Which he even had like a little tiny Quicksilver costume on too. Even with the hair and everything. That was really cool.
What did it remind you of?
Oh, it was totally, when they were coming out of the theater, you could see the Incredibles and the Parent Trap. And that's when the nephew realized, oh my God, I have super speed. And he's running around. That's clearly a shout out to
Incredible.
to Dash in the Incredibles when he first, he's running around super fast. That's really cool. Really cool.
What would you do if you discovered you had super speed?
I'd probably run around the world a few times.
Heck yeah! I would do it.
Mm-hmm.
I would do it naked.
No one would know?
No one would know.
No one would know. But another thing of this episode, you can definitely see like the glitches in the Matrix with this episode. You can see like
Agnes,
and then with Vision, he's like, hey, I'm going to go on neighborhood patrol or whatever. He's not. He's actually going to explore to see what's really going on. And the closer he got to the boundary of Westfield and reality,
in the hex.
Outside of the hex, you can see Wanda's powers, or are they Wanda's powers? You can see the limitations of the control. People are literally stuck in a perpetual loop of a glitch in the Matrix, like that poor lady hanging up stuff on the clothesline. Could you imagine, like, you're aware you're stuck like this, but you can't do anything? That's like a horrible personal hell. Like, oh my God. Like the glitches in the Matrix everywhere. And Vision's like, what is going on?
Let's talk about Agnes and her conversation with Vision.
Yeah, she's stuck in her car. Is she stuck in her car?
Is she stuck in her car? Vision's like, how did you get lost in a town that you've grown up in?
Mm-hmm.
My question is everyone refers to she has us in this control. She has us under control. But Agnes pointed fingers directly to Wanda. So I still think that Agnes has something to do with the bigger scheme of things while letting Wanda think that she's the one that has the power, but she really doesn't.
Yeah, because if you think back to when Quicksilver and Wanda are at like the town square, the center of town where he's like, oh my God, Westfield's so charming. He's like, how did you do it? How did you do this?
Where'd you keep all these kids?
And she's like, I don't know how I did this. I just remember being really alone and all by myself, and then that's it. So it's kind of like if Wanda herself doesn't know how all of this started, it's like when you have a dream, you don't remember the beginning of the dream, you just remember the dream happening.
Yeah.
It's probably the same thing with Wanda. So it's got to be somebody outside of Wanda's conscious ability letting all of this happen. I think that's going to be part of the big reveal.
I agree.
So, I mean, that's very intriguing. It's just more unraveling of the layers of...
the onion skin.
Yeah, the onion skin of what's going on with Wanda and in Westfield. And the other cool thing we got to talk about is Monica Rambeau's blood results.
Oh, yeah. Because she's been sucked into the hex.
And then thrown out. And back in. Her blood is starting to mutate. So it's like, I know in the comic books, she's Photon, right? So she's like a pseudo Captain Marvel. But in the purposes of the MCU, is this where mutants come from? Is this where the genetic mutation starts to happen? Is exposure to Wanda's powers in the way that they're exposed in the town? Maybe. I don't want to think that's the case because then
the X-Men would have.
Then that means all the mutants come from this one town. That doesn't make any sense,
Agreed.
But I think it's cool to see that she is changing into something else. And is it going to be her comic book counterpart? Who knows? But that's really cool how the MCU is using exposure to Wanda's powers as a means to justify.
Or are they Wanda's powers?
That's right. Or it might be something else entirely. Mm-hmm. They're just using Wanda as a conduit because of her ability, because how powerful she is. Who knows? That would be a trip.
So Vision finally gets to the edge and forces his way out.
Oh man, and I'm like, dude, you do not exist beyond this reality.
I was hoping,
be careful.
I was.
Oh man, that poor guy.
Oh,
and also when she was talking to Agnes, she's like, "Oh my God, you're an Avenger. You're here to help us." He's like, "Yeah, I'm here to help you, but what's an Avenger?"
Oh, that's right.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So it's like he himself doesn't remember anything past
Well, she
Westfield.
told him, "You're dead." And then it wasn't just like, "You're dead. You're dead." And she kept saying it louder and louder. And then like,
It's like, damn lady, we know he's dead. My God.
exactly. And it was very bizarre. But I think the interesting part for me, as Vision is pushing out of this hex realm, he's like struggling so incredibly hard. Like no one else has been able to break that barrier, but he can. The stone got pulled out and he had a cave in his forehead. However, when he's pushing through the barrier, he has a white glow coming from there. So I'm curious, where is that coming from? What does that mean? Is that what's charging him? Is it a new form of Vision? Who knows? But I thought that was very interesting. And as Vision is coming out, Darcy is like, we need to help him. He literally looks at Darcy and it was like, we need to help these people. So he's already gotten his message across, but then it's too late.
Because shit hits the fan again, man.
And the other twin
has the psychic abilities.
Yes. And so he sees Vision pushing through. Dad's in trouble. And Wanda just freezes the town.
Who's the other mutant that we know, that we've seen in movies, that can freeze reality around them? That would be Charles Xavier, everybody.
X.
That would be kind of creative. I don't know if that's a callback to when Professor X froze everyone in the museum in X-Men 2, but that's the only other mutant I can think of that has the ability to just stop reality.
And
you know?
Everyone just like froze, except for the kids her and Quicksilver.
Mm-hmm.
And then this town grows.
Oh man.
Like exponentially, and it starts to engulf all of
Sword,
the
used car lot.
So it changes all these modern people into a 90s something.
Yeah, to fit into that her version of the Matrix. It's crazy.
I liked the car lot that turned into a 90s car lot.
So all the 90s cars in the lot, I'm like, oh man, being sold, that's crazy.
And then they turned into clowns and a circus.
Yeah, yep.
The helicopter turned into a hot air balloon.
Crazy, man. And I don't know what they're waiting for. Y'all know Doctor Strange lives in Manhattan. What are you guys waiting on? Like, who? I mean, I know Monica said that she has some guy over the ridge going to help her get back inside the hex. Just call Doctor Strange. What is everyone's deal?
So, what did you guys think of this episode? It was crazy.
Oh man, it would be crazy if Patrick Stewart at the end just comes in.
I didn't even think
and
of
helps
that.
her just, because he's all about helping them control their powers.
Yeah.
That would be a trip. I would have an orgasm to share on all of you.
Stop! Stop right there. No. Bad Bushido.
All of you.
No. So, what would you rate this?
I would give this, I would give it a 7.
Really?
Yeah, I'd give it a 7 because it's definitely a slower burn of an episode. It wasn't like last time was just like, whoa. So I think, I can't hold it against it as coming after such an amazing episode as last time, but there's so much amazing mystery unraveling and then we don't get a payoff. I don't like that because I'm like, I gotta wait a week. But I did enjoy it, so I give it a 7. That's a good rating. 7 out of 10 Baggins.
I'd give it an 8. It always loses points for not being long enough. But I did enjoy it, and I enjoyed the nods to the comic book.
Oh yeah, those were great.
Costumes.
Those were great.
I did find it interesting to see the activity engulfing modern time, so to speak.
Like Wanda is powerful.
She's very powerful, but I don't think she is the cause of it.
She's probably not the cause of it, no. She can't, I don't think, because she herself doesn't know how it started.
Exactly.
It's more like they're just using her powers. You gotta think too, that border did not extend just out that way. It extended like as a circumference. That's a huge area to manipulate, to assimilate into under your control. That's crazy. That is powerful.
It is.
And that's just her making a happy town. Imagine her pissed off. Holy crap. Crazy.
So tell us what you guys think. 7, 8, not bad.
No, not at all.
It's just definitely not last week.
Oh man, last week. Whoa.
Next week's review will be a little bit later because I'm having an eye procedure done on my left eye. And so we will get it out there. We promise, for all of our awesome subscribers. We'll get there eventually. I may have an eye patch on. Who knows? Rocking the pirate.
Some one-piece straw hat action.
I'll get a straw hat to go with. So no Yenta Baggins.
Yenta Baggins.
It's snowing in the Pacific Northwest. It happens like once every 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So anyway, make sure you guys ring the bell.
Subscribe.
Come and join us on our journey, on an adventure. Bushido, seriously. Stop. Make sure you like and subscribe, as I was saying. And as always,
be good to yourself and to those around you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and no matter what, be excellent to each other.
And Wakanda forever!
And ever. Somebody call Dr. Strange.